Okay, how's it going everybody? We're here on CM42 TV. Today it's time for another movie related video and it's about this one right here. I was going to start singing Eye of the Tiger, but little did I know that only comes into play in Rocky 3, which I always just associate with Rocky. That song, Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. And it's one of those songs that you always hear in your life. It's so funny. It's like it'll come on the radio every so often, or it'll come on in like a montage of some sort of talent show or something. And you just associate it with Rocky. Little do you know that it's actually Rocky 3. I'm sure everybody knows that apart from me, clearly. But this, we're going to talk about the first Rocky film. I had the pleasure of seeing, I'm holding the Blu-ray here because I have this undisputed collection set of all 6 films. I would love to get the 2 Creed films because I think they're great. I love both those films. When I was seeing Creed 2 at the cinema, I was sitting near the back of the cinema, and it was one of the really big intense moments of the film, and I was like, literally, it was one of those moments where I was on the edge of my seat and I was kind of like gripping the sort of arms of the chair, and I was really invested, and I was really tense and really ready. And then there was kind of like teenage boys sitting behind us, and one of their mobile phones rang, and they just answered the phone. And he was like, hello, just in the cinema at this really intense moment of the film. And obviously I just assumed that the person would say, alright, well, I'm actually in the cinema right now, I'm already breaking the rules, I'm already being extremely selfish and rude. Can I phone you back in about half an hour when the film's over? And the guy said, I kid you not, no, I'm not busy, I'm not doing anything, I can talk. Not just in the cinema, not just during a film, but at one of the most intense, important moments, emotional moments. Those films are quite emotional. Michael B. Jordan's a great emotional actor, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Rocky. Sylvester Stallone is, of course, in the Creed films. I have had this set for a long time, and I believe I bought it with CEX in like 2012 or 13, just because I was like, oh well, it was actually a really good price. I remember it was in good condition and it was a good price, and now I feel like if I was to go into CEX, I can't go into a shop these days without, spraying my hands multiple times with sanitizer just because of everything that's going on. And then it's just weird to think that we were just so careless about that sort of stuff before. Like, what would have been, the real harm in, not spraying your hands after you've been to a shop like that? But it was like, I can't even go to a shop at all without using sanitizer. So I remember like not even battering an eyelid at that Rocky set and just thinking, oh yeah, for like 30 quid it was for these films. And I have seen all the Rocky films before, right? But my gran was a big Rocky fan and she had all the DVDs and I would watch them at hers. But like, I can't tell you the last time I've watched them. I'm going to say the last time I watched the first Rocky film, definitely, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Rocky 2. I'd seen Rocky 3 before because remember my gran telling me that Hulk Hogan was in it. I believe I've seen Rocky 4 because of Ivan Drago. I believe that's the one that he's in. I could be totally wrong with that. Never seen Rocky 5, and I watched Rocky Balboa on like a pirate disc, a pure dodgy copy in like 2006, like when it came out. I remember sitting in the back seat of my car on like a portable DVD player. We were going a long drive, it might have been to Centre Parks or somewhere down south. And I remember watching Rocky Balboa and not having any, I was in 2006, I was still such a young guy, but thinking, oh cool, it's a boxing film, So I could say that I've seen all the Rocky films. I almost don't like to consider it a rewatch, when I've not seen a film in over 10 years. And now it sounds kind of cliched and stuff, that now my mindset and my kind of point of view and opinions on films is so much more well refined and developed, as I've gotten older. I kind of want to rewatch these films that I saw when I was younger and watch them for the first time. I had the opportunity to see the first Rocky film in the cinema because we were working. It was the first time I was back at work in a long time, and I saw that they were showing Rocky at the cinema, and I thought it was a perfect opportunity to jump in and see it. And I'm considering it a first time watch again because not only was it like I've not seen this film in like 15 years since I was a wee guy, but I'd forgotten so many things about the film and so many things about the character of Rocky Balboa. I was like, this is a total first time watch, and that made me enjoy it so much more. I knew Rocky was great, I knew the whole film franchise was great, but this recent, kind of thing and mood I've been in watching Rocky and stuff is just a complete new appreciation for the films, especially the first one and especially the third one as well. I love the third one, not just because Hulk Hogan's in it. That montage with Eye of the Tiger is literally movie magic. I love the fact that he loses the title halfway through Rocky 3. I love the emotional story with Mickey. I love the redemption story. I love the kind of argument he has with Adrian in the water. It's such a perfect sports and redemption film. But that's Rocky 3. We're talking about the first Rocky right now. So yeah, I had so many sort of forgotten opinions about this film, and yeah, I'd forgotten all about the character. So I was sitting in the cinema, and I've been really trying to save some money, especially coming up towards Christmas and that sort of thing. I just thought I'll save some money and save it for anything. And especially with work being so sporadic recently as well, it's just like safer to save money, you know. So I was trying not to buy anything at the cinema, because that's tend to be where you can kind of go a bit bankrupt at the cinema because of the prices and stuff. And I received an email whilst I was sitting in the cinema about to watch Rocky, right? I received an email saying, because we've been closed, the cinema had been closed for so many months, and your birthday was within these months or whatever, so you missed your birthday at the cinema, we want to reward you with either free popcorn or free nachos. So the trailers had finished and the lights are dimmed and it was right about to start, and I was thinking, I didn't have any food and stuff, and I was thinking, I'm just being offered free popcorn and nachos. So I stood up, I put my mask on, and I ran down the steps, and I thought, I can make this in time, I can make this before I get to film. So I go out to the foyer and ask for nachos, and the guys are like cleaning the stuff, and that's obviously the new protocol, and it's the way it should be forever and ever and ever. There's just like extra cleaning going on and stuff. There's just like washing down everything, and I'm standing there like, obviously they don't know the film's about to start, but I'm standing there going, oh my god, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, I want to hear that opening song. So I get my nachos and stuff, and the guy gets all muddled up. I had to show a code and stuff because I was getting them for free. Finally got the nachos, which by the way at the cinema aren't that great. They're not the best nachos in the world, but just because they were on offer, they were free, I didn't have anything to eat, and it just kind of made the experience a bit more, I don't know, a more better experience. I don't know, just because I was like, I wasn't going to buy anything, and I got this freebie, and I'm getting to watch Rocky on the big screen. Just a funny wee moment that I managed to make it back in time with the nachos to take my mask off and eat my nachos in the cinema. It's just a shame that Cineworld has had to close again. So that was the last film I saw in the cinema, which was Rocky, which is hilarious because you think it would be Tenet or The New Mutants or one of these new films that's come out, but it's just a shame that all the big films are being pushed back. It's really hurt the cinema business, and there's other cinemas that are open, you know, but my local cinema and the one that I have my, you know, unlimited card for is Cineworld, and that one's closed until at least April. So a good 6 months without going is going to really hurt, so I might just need to cheat on my cinema partner and go to another establishment, but I don't mind that at all, especially if you go to The View, because The View is quite cheap. But anyway, I noted down some things about the actual film, and there's all these wee moments, and I feel like with films like Rocky and Star Wars and Jurassic Park and Indiana Jones and these big franchises, right, I feel like we forget about what makes a film great, because these films are so epic and over the top, you know, it makes you just take in the masterpiece as a whole, and it makes you appreciate everything about the films, and that's what kind of overwhelms you with, you know, just film magic. You know, you can sit and you just get lost in these films, and that's what makes them so great, and that's what makes them, you know, household names and favourites. But I also sometimes forget in these big franchises how great the acting can be, because that's the essence of a film. You know, can the performers make you fall and believe and suspend your disbelief when you're watching this film? So things like Avengers and that sort of thing, the acting in Avengers is unbelievable, but we never talk about it, you know. Same with Star Wars. I know Star Wars acting is a bit iffy sometimes, but I mean the new ones are really good. So a film like Rocky, if I was to think of Rocky, I immediately think of a sport film. You need to be in the mood for it. I think of Eye of the Tiger. I think of I think of the boxing setting. I think of the training montages and running up the steps and all that stuff, you know. That's what I think of. I just don't think the fact that, you know, Sylvester Stallone is putting on this amazing performance, as well as his other cast of characters, you know. So I always forget about that, and just think he's such a great character, and that's what I forgot about. The essence of the character of Rocky. He just, in my head, was this badass, great fighter, you know, that always is the best and wins the championship and stuff like that. But I didn't really remember or realise that he's a bit of a loser, like he's a bum, walking around the streets of Philadelphia, and he's so personable, everybody knows him, and that's another really nice touch to this film as well. It makes him really humanised, and I think that really helped, because yes, you can't really picture yourself unless you've been in a boxing ring or in a boxing match. You can't put yourself in his shoes, you know, fighting the best fighter in the world champion, but you can, you know, associate him with your everyday guy walking around the street saying hello to everybody. Everybody knows who he is, everybody knows his name, everybody likes him, and that really helps the character. I think gives the character lots of layers, and I just didn't even think about that in terms of the Rocky character or the Rocky films, which is really, really funny. Also, earlier on in the film when he's kind of trying to chat up Adrian, which is so funny, and I always just assumed that he was this kind of like sweet talking, he's got all the patter and all that sort of stuff, putting on the moves for Adrian, but as I say, he's a bit of a loser. He doesn't know how to speak to women at all. He doesn't know how to chat up at all. He's so lucky that she's so understanding, and he's so lucky that she's so polite and quiet at first and reserved, that she's just trying to go along with it and trying to have a nice night, and he's the one trying to put on the moves and stuff like that, and he's just quite bad at it, really. And he's talking about one point, it's like, look at my face, like, ain't I a really good face? Isn't that a really young looking face? And he goes, look at the nose, because obviously Italians and, you know, the stereotypes there, and he's like, look at the nose, it's never been broken, never broken my nose. And then at one point in the film with Apollo Creed punches him and he goes to his corner and he's like, oh, I broke my nose. And it's wee things like that, it's wee foreshadowing and callbacks and things like that that really make a film, and it takes a film from being good and being memorable to being great and being amazing and being like a legendary film. These wee things, wee intricacies of the film that really stand out and make you kind of go, oh, that's really clever. And even if you weren't paying attention that much, you might not notice it, but then on rewatch and stuff, you kind of go, oh, and you kind of pick it up. I love those moments in films. I think it really changes your opinion on big films like that, because even in the biggest films in the world and the most epic masterpieces in the world, they still have these wee small moments that make you kind of go, ah, what a genius line that is. The writing is really good, the acting is really good, this has been very well thought out, of course, and I really enjoyed that moment. There's a moment where, before the big fight, Rocky goes into the Philadelphia Spectrum, which is where the fight is going to be, obviously, and he's walking there, and which another, by the way, when he's trying to chat up Adrian in the pet shop, he says, I've got, you know, tickets to the basketball game that's in the Philadelphia Spectrum. And then, of course, later on, that's where he's going to be fighting Apollo Creed. Again, one of those wee sort of hidden kind of gems and Easter eggs as well, you know. He was walking into the Philly Spectrum at one point, and it's kind of before the film, and he's kind of just taking it all in, and there's no one there. And there's like, he's a nobody, really. He's a guy that used to kind of fight, you know, for a hobby to make a bit of money, you know. And now he's in this high profile situation, this dream situation that so many fighters would love to be, and he's looking around and he's seeing his big banner that's hanging down, and he's like just kind of trying to take it all in and realise what's happening, comprehend what's happening. And it reminded me of, like, before doing a show or something in a theatre, walking around. I always love to do that. Like, I always like to go in early and scope out the theatre and look at it, and when there's no audience, there's something about being in a theatre with no audience that's so therapeutic. And it kind of gives you butterflies, and it's kind of what you do, isn't it? Like, I mean, any line of entertainment, and even like other sports as well. I'm assuming footballers, you know, you of course they do. You see it on social media all the time. Footballers walk out to the empty stadium beforehand, have a look about, and kind of feel the place, and get, you know, make sure they don't trip on the way to the ring and that sort of thing. That legendary wrestling myth. So it's just funny watching them do that. I love the fact they add that in there. I know it's a film, and it's depicting a big boxing match and stuff. And of course, in Philadelphia nowadays, you couldn't just walk in, you know. But back then, you know, Rocky Balboa is this legendary character around the city of Philly. I guess if there was security there, they would have just let him in anyway. But I just love the fact that that's still there. It makes it feel so real, because you start to get nervous. You start to get nervous for him. You start to get the butterflies that you would get if you're in that situation, and it just makes you connected to the film. It makes you kind of relate to the film in so many other ways. So I just loved it. I loved the first Rocky film, and it made me so happy that I have this set, but it also made me be like, I'm going to just go on a whole Rocky sort of binge watch, you know. And over the past couple of days I've been watching Rocky 2 and Rocky 3, and tonight I'm probably going to watch Rocky 4, and that gave me an idea to kind of, if I can get through them all in a good amount of time, I can make a video and I can rank them, and I can give you my ranking of all the Rocky films. And also in this Blu-ray set, there's 3.5 hours of special features, which of course I can guarantee you I've never seen one of. I've never seen any special features with Rocky. So now that I'm an actual fan, it's so nice. It's like doing this whole thing with the Harry Potter films that I've been speaking about on the channel. Like, I watched Harry Potter a few years ago, and I really enjoyed them and stuff, and always knew they were great. But now on this sort of the second watch of the films and kind of taking them all in again, I'm getting a bigger, you know, appreciation for the films, and it's changing my love for them. And it's kind of happened with Rocky as well. You know, this is technically my second watch of the films, but deep down it's a first watch, really. And it's making me fall in love with not only the films, but the character and the writing and the relationships, you know. Him and Adrian's relationship is amazing, you know, it's so beautiful. So, and with Paulie and stuff going crazy because it's his sister and he's his best friend, and he's kind of got a couple of screws loose, you know, you need to kind of watch out for him. And he's kind of jealous the fact that all these other people are getting, you know, favours done by Rocky because Rocky's making all this money now. But Rocky's keeping it real with Paulie because he doesn't want to change. Rocky's still the same guy, and you see that. You know, you can see, especially in the Rocky 3 montage actually with Eye of the Tiger, you can see him kind of doing the commercials and doing the adverts and doing the training stuff, you know, TV spots and stuff, you know, he's still a bit awkward. He's still not really natural at it because he's still the same guy. The money and the fame isn't changing him. And I love that. I love how he's staying true to himself. And of course, I've still got the other 3 to go over the next few nights, but I'll do a ranking video and I can talk about kind of what I've just realised. That was a weird come to Jesus meeting there. The logo here is the Italian Stallion. And when he wrestles, when he fights Mr. T, Clubber Lang, in Rocky 3, that is the design on the canvas of the ring. And I just noticed that it's on the Blu-ray. What a nice touch that is. So yeah. Anyway, there you go. There's Rocky in the cinema. Just a great experience, and a kind of general idea, overview of the Rocky films that I've watched so far, the Rocky trilogy, if you will. And once I watch the other 3, then I can come back and chat about all 6 films and rank them in order of my least favourite to favourite. And you can check back in. If you love Rocky, please let me know your thoughts. Let me know what your favourite Rocky film is. Anything to look out for over the next 3 films, I will. And I can come back with some more movie chat next week here on CM42 TV. So thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And remember, you have to... Oh, I was going to say something really cool there. You can always remember, if you have the Eye of the Tiger, you will win. Okay.